You mentioned like you're even emphasizing on it that you're looking for oil money.
Yeah. As you said, I'm always talking about making money and everything because I've been broke in the past. And it was not a funny thing.
Never again.
I studied petroleum engineering, and when I was like in my third year, that's when I realized that it's not going to be for me. Like petroleum engineering, the oil and gas company in Nigeria wasn't just going to be easy to get into. So I needed to look for the next oil money in code. I eventually tried front-end engineering, actually. So I started coding, I learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then another thing that gets me frustrated in content creation is maybe when you put out videos and you expect it to do well and it's not doing well. And maybe like you're just seeing few views or maybe people are not commenting. So that's another thing I try to do when it comes to content creation. That's one of the reasons why I take breaks.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Women with Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Pelumi, and as per usual, I have a gorgeous guest with me. Hi Wendy.
Hi, Pelumi.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. I'm very, very happy that you're here.
You're welcome. I'm happy I'm here too.
Good, because I've been stalking you. I always like to tell my guests that I'm a stalker. And I've been following you for a while, and you're a YouTuber and you're a Texas.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I try my best anyways to just balance it one way or another. So yeah, I'm Wendy, aka Wendy Living. I work in tech and I'm also a lifestyle creator. I like to call myself a lifestyle creator. So yeah, I'm a lifestyle creator on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. So I just try to find a balance and also take breaks whenever I'm getting exhausted or overwhelmed. Yeah, it's just important when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching your recent, one of your recent YouTube videos, and we're having a conversation about this, funny enough, off camera, where you said it's almost as if you're living like a double life.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want to ask, how did you get into tech?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know in one of your YouTube videos, again, I'm a stalker, you mentioned how like you started off studying petroleum engineering and then you tried to like get into like computer science. So how did you like get into tech?
All right. So I studied petroleum engineering, and when I was like in my third year, that's when I realized that it's not going to be for me. Like petroleum engineering, the oil and gas company in Nigeria wasn't just going to be easy to get into. So I needed to look for the next oil money in quotes, basically. And I felt like tech was the next thing. And then I also like had interest in some technical things. So when it was time for me to do my research and all of that, and I was like, okay, maybe I could try to switch to computer science. But then I realized that I'll have to like repeat a class. And I didn't want to go back a class. So I decided to just finish up with petroleum engineering. And then once I was done with uni, I made sure that anywhere I'm applying for a job has to be a technical company. So I was lucky enough that they were doing an internship basically for my, like a school, basically like a company that was owned by like an alumni. So, yeah. So I got an internship there, and then from there I started doing different roles. I wasn't doing the role I'm doing right now was not what I was doing when I started. So I basically like did several roles, from doing customer service. I tried to do digital marketing. I even did sales before I now found interest in the particular role that I am in right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. So that means that you tried out different things, even though they weren't like willingly.
Yeah.
But you were put in different like roles.
Okay, so yeah, I was put in some of those roles, but I knew that I wanted to do something technical, because there's something I always try to talk to my audience about on my YouTube, is that because you want to get into because you want to get a technical job, basically doesn't mean you have to do technical roles. So you can basically do customer service, you can do project management, you can do HR, you can do accounting in technical companies. But then that was what I was doing. I was doing some of those non-technical roles, but I wanted to do technical roles. So I eventually tried front-end engineering, actually. So I started coding, I learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then I was doing it. And then I was also, because in one of the companies I was working at here, I was doing like a bunch of roles at the same time. So I was doing customer service, I was doing digital marketing, I was doing social media, and then I was also doing quality assurance engineering. So this is something that I've spoken about in my YouTube. So it's not even something that is hidden. Anyways, so like I was doing all these roles and I just felt like I wasn't getting fulfillment.
Yeah.
I wasn't content. So I tried switching to front-end engineering over there, but it wasn't working. So it was basically a place where they just wanted you to just do what you wanted to do. And if you know the story about startups, you know that startups are not that easy for you to get anything you want. So when I saw that I couldn't get the front-end engineering that I wanted, I used the experience I already had in one of the roles that I had, which was the only technical role, which was the quality assurance engineering.
Okay.
So I used that to apply for another job, and then I got the job. So I was so happy that I was finally like doing just that role in the company that I got. And then, yeah. So that's basically my story on how I got into tech. And that's where I'm at now. So it's been good so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. And I can tell that it's something that you genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
But when did content creation like come into the mix of everything?
Okay, I think that was 2 years ago, 2 years plus ago. That would be in 2020. Yeah, I think it was 2020. Yeah, 2020. Basically, I was on Instagram like 2020, like September. I had Instagram since, but then Instagram took my account basically. So
It took your account.
yeah, like I don't even know what happened, but they just said I couldn't access my account anymore.
Oh wow.
So in 2020, like September, I opened another account. So I was intentional about the account. I started posting like intentionally pictures, places I go to, creating reels and all of that. Then 2021 February was when I put in my first video on YouTube. So I've always loved YouTube. I've always loved watching people's YouTube videos. I just loved seeing how people live their lives.
Yeah.
And I felt like it also gave me some knowledge about some places. So whenever I'm watching maybe like foreign YouTubers, it gives me some idea about what it is like living over there. And I learned basically different things. It's not just, I don't just watch it just for the entertainment. I also learn some things from their videos.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I need to also show people some things about my life because I wanted to just dead the idea that you have to have everything in life before you can start something. Like some people feel like you have to have a whole lot of money before you can live your life.
Yeah.
And at the point I was at, I didn't have everything. I wasn't where I am right now. I'm not even where I want to be right now. But then when I started YouTube, I had something that I just felt like I could work with. And I wanted people to just see that even if you don't have a lot, you can still
start.
you can still start, you can still live your life, you can still do some things, just like cut your coat according to your clothes, basically, and enjoy your life, basically. So I wanted to just show people how they can do it with my journey. And I think so far, since then, 2 years plus now, that's what I've been doing. And it's so nice to see that some people have actually been inspired by my videos.
Yeah.
And I also get write-ups and basically people telling me how they got into tech, how I made them join YouTube, and those kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I think I'm what was the word now? I'm getting the purpose. Yeah, my purpose. I'm basically achieving my purpose as a content creator. Yeah.
I really like that. And I think something that other like young content creators or people that want to go into it can take from what you just said is like starting with what you have. Because I know a lot of people say that in their like YouTube or their TikTok content, or people are just always like, just you have a phone, just start.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the most expensive restaurants.
Yeah,
you don't have
exactly.
to. You can just start. So let me ask you, because you said you watched a lot of YouTube as well. You love YouTube.
Yeah.
If you were to name like 3 YouTubers that you watch like religiously, that once you get that notification, you're there.
Okay. So, so I started off watching Diara. She's an American YouTuber. So I started watching Diara, then DK Foil. They call it DK Foil. But then since their relationship broke off, so she opened her own channel. So
it was like a relationship like
channel. Yeah. But I was just watching because of the entertainment and there were some things we were doing. But then I loved her because she was just genuine. Like they were genuine though, but I mean relationships end sometimes. But then she was genuine. So she opened up her own channel and she blew up like immediately because she just had that coverage of audience. So I started watching her. So she's one person that if a video comes up, I'm always watching her videos. Then there's also one other person. Her name is Octavia B.
Okay.
She's also an American YouTuber. So I also watch her because she's also authentic. She started as someone that was working in 9 to 5 and then eventually became a full-time content creator.
Yeah.
So I've watched her journey and it's so inspiring. Like, I'm just like, if she can do it, like, I mean, anybody can do it too. Then another person that I watch is also, her name is Taja Fejust. I don't know how to pronounce it very well. But she's also a journey person. She works in the medical space in
Oh, okay,
America
that's
as well.
cool.
And then she's also a content creator as well. So she's also journeying. So I just try my best to look for journeying people. And
So people that you can connect to.
yeah, people I can connect with, I can relate with.
Yeah, I think that's very
And
important.
they help me to just like dream further.
Yeah. So let's go a little bit backwards. Not backwards, but like let's take it a little bit back. You mentioned like, when you started studying or when you were studying petroleum engineering, and you mentioned it in the YouTube video, you were even emphasizing on it that you're looking for oil money.
Yeah.
So I know that money is like a main, but you literally said it in that video, you said you don't want to be broke.
Yeah.
And that's very valid.
Yeah.
But with content like creation, you hear a lot of content creators say that it takes time for you to, start making or start earning like a lot of money. And there's YouTube that the monetization process as well can be very, you need to have a lot of like patience, basically. So what are some of the things that motivate you toward in like content creation, aside like maybe money?
Okay, aside from money. So, like I said, I also liked the fact that people could pick something from my videos. So, whenever I'm talking, like before I got a new job, which was last year, so I also shared my like journey on how my former job was stressing me out. I showed the process from when I actually like resigned and when I got a new job. I showed the process literally. And I didn't even know when I was going to get the new job. I was surprised I got the new job in like less than, I think, few days after I'd resigned. And I shared it. So it was something that motivated people to see that, okay, if Wendy can do this, like this we can do. Because they're going through something doesn't mean it's the end of the world or doesn't mean they can't keep on trying. So I wanted people to I just wanted to show people that they can also dare to dream, basically. So what motivates me is the fact that it's helping people. My contents are helping people to just keep going. So that's one thing that motivates me to just keep on putting out content, sharing my experience. In fact, before I started earning on YouTube, I mean, I've been on YouTube for like 2 years and I got monetized this year. So that was like 2 years after. And some people could have given up. I mean, I actually literally took a 6-month break in my first year on YouTube. And that was because I just felt like I wasn't getting the kind of, I don't know, value that I wanted to get. Like, it was just like I was just putting out content and nothing was happening. But then I had to come back. And also I was actually having like some breakouts, like acne and all of that. So all of that just made me just drop YouTube for like 6 months. And then I decided to come back again. And then I revamped my YouTube, changed everything, my header, my intro, the way I do my thumbnail. And then I started pushing out content again. And after I did all of that, that was when I started getting more audiences. I started getting people that could relate with my content. And so, yeah, I feel like you should just have patience. So I was patient as well, apart from also connecting with people. Also patient and just knowing that, okay, this is where I want to get to. I had like an end goal. I knew that eventually I'll get monetized. I'll eventually like connect with brands. Hopefully that brands will see me. And then, so I just kept on pushing, being patient. And then, and the fact that people will be able to connect with my content, that also helped me to keep on putting out content.
Yeah, so aside, a woman with Audacity, doing all of these things, but what's your social life like?
Okay, so I like to have a balance. I'm kind of like, I always say sometimes, I'm kind of like a loner. I like being alone. Like, not...
You enjoy your own company?
Yeah, I enjoy my own company. I enjoy my company. I just like to get to know myself more. So aside from me being alone, I also like to like socialize with people as well. Go out whenever need be, because I'm very selective. When people invite me to things, I don't go for everything. I'm just very selective because I just like, what am I benefiting from this if I'm going out? Sorry, excuse me. So I try my best to socialize with people, but then I'm very picky. Even events that I get invited to as a content creator, I don't go for everything.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, okay, it's not my kind of thing. And so I try my best to just socialize with people. I also try to be in touch with my own self as well. And that's just it.
I know you're big on like solo dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started doing that a lot recently. Would you say that that's something that you're now very fond of, that you'd probably rather go on more solo dates than maybe like
people?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I just try to create a balance between both of them. I don't mind hanging out with people, but then at the same time, I also like going on solo date for my own self. I feel like it's just a way to just unwind and just be calm and just be in touch with myself, think about my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love both of them. Balance. Just a balance.
Yeah, I've been on one solo date. Every other time it has either been, it's not like my social life is like popping like that
Yeah.
as well. But I went on a solo date once, and I remember I went to see a movie and then I went to eat after. And I remember when I was watching the movie, I was crying. And like I don't know why, I just felt being alone made me feel very like vulnerable with myself. If that makes
Yeah, it actually makes sense. Do you know, I was recently in that kind of position as well. I don't know, you mentioned that you watched my last video. I mentioned something about feeling vulnerable at the end of that video.
Yeah,
because I went for that event, which was a movie premiere, and I just felt it wasn't exactly organized. So I was just there. Okay, yeah. First of all, I got there like early. Early was the exact time to get there, which was 6 p.m. But then it started like around like 9. So I was there alone, and I just felt like vulnerable. I just felt like alone because it wasn't among my plans. Like I feel like I work well with plans. I like being organized. So at that point, I just felt like, what am I doing here? Like I'm just here sitting down looking at everybody. Like, okay, I could even go connect with people because that's one thing about me. I don't like talking too much with people because I don't like hearing no. So I'd rather just be on my own. But then I didn't just have a plan. So I didn't even know that they were going to start by 9. I just felt alone. And I actually kind of cried that day. I actually added it to the vlog, but then when I was editing, I removed it out because I'm like, I'm not going to be very rude with everybody. Yeah, so much. So I actually understand what you're talking about. But then I had to like brace myself and I was like, when you just go out, look around, look at what people are doing.
Yeah.
And so I just cleaned my tears and then went out. So I think that kind of thing now, you just try not to cry. Like if you are crying, just clean it and just understand that it happens.
Yeah.
Because people are strong, all these strong people that we're seeing doesn't mean they don't cry or they don't feel down sometimes. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's just a moment and then get over it.
But is that something that you've experienced quite often with like your content creation? It doesn't have to be like at an event that you were invited to or something like that happened. Maybe you were trying to record something and it wasn't working out, or you had this plan in your head, but in reality, execution is just like...
Yeah, it has happened to me before. I think 2 times. There was a time I was recording something and I was literally like done recording the video, and then I went to check and I saw the video wasn't recording like 30 minutes. I'm like,
so you did everything?
I did. I spoke. It was even like a haul. Like I was showing the dresses, everything, and then I was done and I went to check. I was like, it's not recorded. I'm like, wow. And I was working with like the sunlight, and all of that. So it was just somehow. So I had to record the video again. So that kind of moment, I was frustrated, but I didn't cry. Then another thing that gets me frustrated in content creation is maybe when you put out videos and you expect it to do well and it's not doing well. And maybe like you're just seeing few views or maybe people are not commenting. So that's another thing I try to do when it comes to content creation. That's one of the reasons why I take breaks. I don't like to be so sucked into social media. Like, because there's a thin line between seeking validation and being a content creator, because you don't want to seek validation, but at the same time you know that those comments are going to help you as a content creator, because brands want to see that people are engaging with your content. So sometimes I'm like, it's not that deep, I'm just going to leave it. Like sometimes I just don't post anything. I'm like, whatever will happen. And that's another good thing about having a 9 to 5 anyway. So I'm not a full-time content creator. So I'm like, at least I'm going to be getting money from 9 to 5. But at the same time, I enjoy content creation. So when the pressure comes, it doesn't become something that I enjoy anymore. It becomes like a chore. Like work, I have to do so much just so that people comment, or people don't comment. Doesn't mean I'm not good enough. But it doesn't mean you're not good enough. Sometimes the algorithm doesn't just favor you. Algorithm is not what we think. It's annoying. So that kind of thing, I try to overlook it. I just post. And there's something that someone said that if you see that 20 people liked your video, like don't feel bad, because if you go out and 20 people are telling you, oh, you look good, like don't you feel good about it? So why are you feeling bad that 20 people liked your video? I don't even get. So just embrace it, and eventually maybe it will get better.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
Myself? My favorite thing about myself? I don't know. I just like me. I think I really do even know right now. I think the fact that I don't get jealous or envious of people.
Okay.
I think that's one thing I like about myself, because I've learned to just see people growing and just believe that I'll eventually get there one day. So yeah, I think it's a little bit hard for some people to see that part. Some people jealous you, or they get envious and they're angry that you're getting something. But for me, I just see it as one day I'll get there. So I just see it as an inspiration for myself. So I think that's one thing I like about myself. I don't get envious or jealous of people.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a bit difficult for like some people. Not everybody's
Yeah.
like, because one thing I always tell because jealousy is a very normal emotion.
Yeah.
So, for example, one thing I always tell myself if I'm being like transparent is rather than be jealous of somebody, I'd rather put them on my mood board.
Yeah.
So, I'd rather find something to like draw inspiration. If it's that there's a particular way that they look or they are dressed, and I'm like, oh, I wish I hear myself in my head saying things like, oh, I wish. I just think to myself, okay, let me find a similar store that's selling that like
Yeah, right.
dress and buy it.
Yeah.
Do I need to like up my makeup game? I'll watch YouTube videos, I'll watch TikTok videos and take like bits and pieces from that. But I like that that's your like favorite thing about yourself. So now I want us to be a little bit more vulnerable. So everybody has insecurities, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but you know, are there some things that or some insecurities that you had to like tackle or they are having to like overcome over time as you go with content creation, with work?
Yeah. I think one thing, content creation, you know, if you're a YouTuber or even a lifestyle YouTuber, sometimes you have to show your best skin on your videos. Maybe like you're doing a get ready with me or makeup, or even if you're just doing a day in my life or weekend in my life. Sometimes you have to show, you're not going to be on makeup every single time when you're trying to talk to your audience in your videos. So I had to be comfortable with my skin. Basically, I have an acne-prone skin, so I'm always breaking out most times, and I'm working on it. Of course, I'm working on it, but it doesn't just work that well if you know that your skin is acne-prone. So I think that's one insecurity that I'm trying to balance out. So yeah, I'm working on just accepting how my skin is. If people don't like it, they don't like it. Because some people can be like, "Oh, your makeup, or you don't look the same without makeup." That kind of thing. Like I'm like, I don't care. You're not going to look like
Silly
me.
comment.
You're still not going to look like me if you're on makeup. So it's still me. So even if I'm having acne, I just try to be comfortable with it. Yeah. So that's one thing. Then the second thing when it comes to my 9 to 5 is imposter syndrome. So I try my best not to look down on myself. Because funny thing is, when it's time for me to maybe like learn a new skill, because tech is a place where you're always learning things. So maybe when it's time for me to learn a new tool now, and before learning the new tool, I might be feeling like, oh, it's so hard, that kind of thing. But then when I learn it and I'm done learning it and I'm using it to work, I'm like, is this everything? That's like, because it's just like, are you sure there's no more to it? Because I already know it already. So I try my best not to just look down on myself. I try to believe that I can do it, because some people are actually looking at you like, oh, you're doing well. But to you, you're like, maybe I'm not all that. But some people feel like you're all that. So just accept the fact that you're good enough. And yeah, so those are two things I'm working on.
Yeah, and that's the thing about imposter syndrome. It makes everything seem more like much more bigger than it actually is in reality. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. Are there any women that like inspire you? If you were to name like 3 women that inspire you right now.
Inspire me. Honestly. Let me see. Because there are a lot of women that I see and watch, and let me see. Well, so I'm trying to think.
Anybody. It doesn't even have to be like a fellow content creator. Is there anybody in your life, like just women in general?
Yeah. Well, I think one person that I would say inspire me is this lady. Her name is Crystal Briney Hazlett. She is an actor and a producer in America. So the reason why I like her, because I watch, like, she acts one show like this called Sisters on BET.
I love that show.
You know that show, right? So you know Fatima. So yeah, I love her a lot. And she has a new podcast that she started like some few months ago. I'm watching it and I've watched her story. And there are some things that she just says that just inspires me, because she started from somewhere that, I don't know, like she went to school, of course, and everything. But then she had to like come solo to be able to get where she is and all of that. So seeing her story and everything just keeps me inspired, like pushes me. Then maybe another person could be now I really don't know right now. But there are many women though. But I just can't pick like someone that's I look up to. I like their life though, but then yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one that you've mentioned is
Yeah.
like she's a very, very wonderful
Wonderful
person. Because I was watching one of her podcast episodes where she talked about how she grew up in like a very small town,
Yeah.
how she had to like go through some things with her parents to
Yeah.
like follow her dreams.
To follow her dreams and all. So it was
Yeah.
just really nice to just see where she's at now.
Mm-hmm.
And she just keeps saying, she always says, don't worry, your time will eventually come. Even if you're not there yet, like just keep pushing. Yeah. When you get there.
Yeah. Okay. So now my final question I ask all my guests is, when in your life have you felt like absolute audacity? When have you had that like audacious moment that you wanted to do something and you just did it?
I think for me, it's going to be when I think it's going to be for me when I started applying for jobs.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because it was just a moment for me where I just felt like I can be able to get wherever I want. Like as you said, I'm always talking about making money and everything because I've been broke in the past, and it was not a funny thing.
Never again.
As in never again. So I'm like, it will never, as in I can never not have something doing. So even if maybe like I'm out of school, or maybe I have like little breaks, or maybe even if I even like lose a job or something, I'm always going to look for something to do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, every time that maybe I don't just have something, I'm just making sure that I have something to do, like either a business, because I've done like several businesses in the past. And yeah, just to make something until I get to where I am. So yeah, I think getting a job or starting a business is something that I've always been audacious to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that you don't limit yourself like mentally or anything. You just try.
I just try and see where you go. If it doesn't work out, try another thing. I mean, that's what life is about. Try one thing. If it doesn't work out, try another thing. If it doesn't work out, try another thing. Keep on going till something works out.
Yeah, as long as you're not stagnant.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've gotten to the cheeky segment of my show where my past guest has written a message for you, and you're going to write one for the next guest. So I'm going to give you your own message. You're going to read it out, and then after, I'll give you a piece of paper to write one for the next guest.
All right.
Yeah. Why are you smiling like that? What does he say?
All right. So this person said, "Never stop being the superstar that you are." It's nice. It's actually nice.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I always say it. My guests have very sweet, sweet messages.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to give you this to write for the next guest.
All right.
Yeah. No pressure. You fine with it?
I think so.
Okay. So you can just fold it and put it in here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So you can keep that if you want to.
Yeah, I will.
Just as a reminder. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on Women with Audacity.
You're welcome.
I'm sure, I don't know if you realize it, but there are a lot of people that look up to you. And I just want to say, keep doing everything you're doing. Because you never know who's watching. Yeah. And yeah, just keep being your awesome self.
All right. I will.
So thank you.
Thank you. And you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. So guys, that's it today on Women with Audacity podcast. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and you can find us everywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any streaming platform for podcasts. You find Women with Audacity there. So catch you next time. Bye.